The government spokesperson today is Minister Stuart Nash, and he joins me now. Good evening, Minister. How big are the gains, do you think, in terms of freedom from going from level 4 to level 3? Because some people will look at this and think it doesn't look that different.
Well, what we reckon is there's about 500,000 Kiwis working at the moment. This will take it up to about 1 million. We've also moved, as the Prime Minister eloquently said, from a business being essential to being safe.
Okay,
so quite substantial.
So let's look at some of the details, because people have a lot of questions. What's the status of the bubble under level 3? Can you invite other people into it, and who?
Yeah, sure. What we're basically saying is we still want to keep contact as minimal as possible. So, you're allowed to invite family or a caregiver, and that's about it. If people think they're going to go back to pre-COVID levels where they're having beers with their mates, they're not. That is a way off.
So what if you've got 10 brothers and sisters? Is that close whānau?
Well, 10 brothers, depending on where they live and how old they are, et cetera, But no, I would say it's your parents. For me, it's my 2 older children who I haven't seen, apart from over the fence or on FaceTime. But keeping in mind, Kiwis have done really, really well to keep COVID down to where it's at the moment. The game is elimination, and we're still chasing that incredibly hard. So we're asking people to use their common sense. Of that, there's no doubt. But let's not undo all the really hard work we've done by being silly buggers and breaching this.
So, okay, if you are introducing those new people into your bubble, what do? Can you hug them? Can you shake their hands? Can you give them a kiss?
Well, if it's your mother, you can probably give her a hug. If it's your son or your daughter, you can probably give them a hug as well. But again, we want to reduce human contact, as much as we possibly can, whilst also acknowledging that for a lot of old people, my mother's been in isolation and lockdown like everyone else. I haven't been near her. I've been calling her and keeping in touch. But for a lot of our elderly people, human contact is really important.
So no dinner parties really, and no having the mates round for a few beers and some snacks then? That's still a no under level 3. Right.
It's still a no.
How will schools work practically? Because you have a potential situation where teachers are going to have to teach students virtually, and then they're going to have some kids in the classroom. How is that going to work?
Yeah, well, teachers are going to have to work out the best way to make it work, to be honest. They're going to try and engage in social distancing in the classroom, so you're not going to get classes of 30 kids all sitting beside each other like, we did.
How many will the max be then?
Well, that'll be up to the school and the classroom to determine. But what we have said, and, we understand the practical reality of a whole lot of third and fourth formers in the classroom, right? But what we have said is we don't want to undo all the really good work we've done so far. If you can't keep your kids at home because you've got to go out and work, then we are saying send your kid to school. But if you can work from home, we're asking that you do work from home. And if you can keep your children homeschooled just until we get over this, then that's what we're asking people to do.
So essentially, the schools are being used as childcare facilities and babysitting?
No, not at all, because what we are expecting at the moment is for children to still be learning when they're at home, and they will certainly be learning when they're at school. So the last thing we need is for young men and women and children to be missing out on education. It's the reason why Chris Hipkins has introduced all these measures around education. It is not a babysitting service. This is not a holiday for kids. We do expect them to be learning, and they certainly will be when they go back to school.
But the ones going back to school are, in essence, being babysat. You're opening the schools to allow essential workers and other workers that have to go in the office to have kids, a place to put their kids, aren't you? That's the primary reason here.
Well, I don't consider that babysitting, because pre-COVID there were many New Zealanders where the mum and dad or both partners worked and kids went to school because that's what kids do. We're moving back to a situation which is slightly more normal than level 4, of course, but it's nowhere close to pre-COVID level. So it's not a babysitting service. It is a school where the children will be learning as they were pre-COVID.
So attending school is going to be voluntary, the Prime Minister says, and if you can keep your kids at home, do. So you've got kids. Would you be happy for them to go into a school in this circumstance?
In the circumstance, I would, but I'm very lucky. My wife works from home. And so the Prime Minister has said if you can work from home, please do. If you can keep your kids at home, please do. We'll be keeping the 2 young ones at home.
There are lots of emails coming into us while you've been talking to us about garden centres. Are they going to be allowed to be opened under level 3?
Well, it depends. And the reason I say that is because what we've said, if people can organise a click and collect model where there's no contact between staff in an organisation and customers, then they could well open. But we will not be getting back to a stage where people pull up in a garden centre car park, go wandering through the aisles, pick up their plants and go to a checkout. That sort of system, we're way away from that at this point in time. So if there's a click and collect, then yes, as long as they have a self-accreditation scheme in place which proves to their staff and their customers that they are safe. But this is not normal. So please don't get the impression that we're going back to pre-COVID ways.
Can people move house during level 3?
Yes, they can.
Okay. So another question has come in about a pregnant women who might be going into hospital over the next few weeks. If we drop to level 3, this person asks, will they be able to take a support person with them into the hospital when they deliver their baby?
Well, it's funny you say that. A very good friend of mine's wife delivered her baby at 2:42 a.m. this morning. Congratulations to Rob. He was there for the delivery, but then had to leave soon after.
So under level 3?
But sorry, Lisa, I can't argue whether that person, the husband partner, will be able to stay as long as they did pre-COVID. So I haven't got an answer to that.
Okay, unknown at this point. All right, another person is asking if we own a batch in the same region that we normally reside in, can we go to our batch under level 3?
No, and look, I own a batch in Mahia, which is within my electorate and within the Hawke's Bay region. No, you're not allowed to go to your batch. Stick at home. Stick within your slightly enlarged bubble if you need be. But again, let's not undo all the really great work that we've done so far. You can go to your batch. There'll be plenty of time to go to your batch after this. But let's just be safe for the meantime. So no, preferably not.
Campbell's got in touch to ask if mountain biking and tramping is okay under level 3. Why can't we hunt if we stick to our region? Campbell goes on to say that the statistics support that the two aforementioned hobbies, biking and tramping, are a lot more dangerous than hunting.
Well, what we've said you can do is, you can go surfing, you can go fishing, as long as you're fishing from the shore, not in a boat. I'm assuming if you're going hunting, then you've got to jump in a car and drive, so you're not living on the farm within, wandering over your fence and hunting. So again, we want to limit travel to only essential travel. So you're going to and from work, you're going to and from the hospital if you need to, you're going to and from the supermarket, but non-essential travel, again, we want to limit.
The Prime Minister has said today that swimming's okay, right? Swimming's okay, she said. So not many people have a beach on their back door. So how far is it okay to travel if you were going to go to the beach?
Well, again, we want people to use their common sense, really, and we're heading into winter.
What does your common sense tell you? If you wanted to take your kids to the beach, how far would be acceptable to go? Under level 3, we're talking.
Well, I wouldn't expect you to jump in a car and drive for half an hour to get to the beach. I would think that would be non-essential travel and therefore unnecessary, therefore outside the rules. Again, Lisa, I'll go back to the point. We have done incredibly well so far, and we want to eliminate COVID from our country, and I think we're on track to do that.
Understood.
However,
but people are eager to know. People are eager to know kind of what the parameters are so that they can be good citizens and keep within them. So with that beach example that we use, what would you say is an acceptable drive time? Or is it the situation under level 3, unless you can walk to the beach, then you shouldn't be going? What's your feeling?
My feeling is stick to the level 4 restrictions we're in at the moment. If you can't walk to the beach, then don't go to the beach. But again, we want to limit non-essential travel. We've been very clear about that. But we do know that there's going to be a lot more cars on the road as people head to work, drop the kids off at the school, and or go and collect stuff they've bought through the click and collect sort of process. So there will be more cars on the road, but we want to limit non-essential travel. We in essence, Lisa, what we want to do is ensure that people don't have contact with those they don't need to.
Right, got you. The other question that we've got is, if you got stuck somewhere else during lockdown in a city that you don't normally live in, say, for example, Wellington, and you would like to get back to your actual home in Dunedin, can you go under level 3?
Well, I haven't got an absolute answer to that, but I cannot see why not. I don't know Wellington to Dunedin because you've got to cross the ferry. Again, I don't know what the flight situation will be or what the ferry situation will be. But if you're stuck in Picton and you need to go home to Dunedin, I don't see there's any reason why you can't jump in your car and drive down to Dunedin. But again, let's keep the basic principle always at front of mind. Limit the amount of people you're in contact with, and only through that way will we be able to eliminate COVID from our country.
OK, if you could put your police minister's hat on for a second, how are your police managing to maintain physical distancing protocols in their work? Is it even possible?
Oh, it's very difficult, and what we find at any point in time...
Impossible?
There are a number... close to impossible, but what they have done is these are essential workers, and the police hierarchy has put a list of requirements in place to keep their workers safe. But, we've got men and women out there who are still dealing with rat bags in the worst possible circumstances. So I take my hat off to our policemen and women. I think they're doing a fantastic job. And as mentioned, at any point in time, a number are self-isolating because of people they've come in contact with in their normal course of duties.
Appreciate your time this evening. That is the government spokesperson today, who is Minister Stuart Nash.